Hello everyone, going through another cryptocurrency market update here. Going to look at the majors and where I expect price to move over the next 1 to 2 weeks. And then I'm going to go over a few trades that I took on altcoins last week, so Wi-Fi and Tomo, and then a few trades that I have just taken today and what I'm expecting from those pairs over the next few weeks. Okay, so last week I pointed out that we had this broken base here. Okay, price then reached into the broken base, sweeping below this key swing low here and forming another broken base. So if you haven't watched any of my videos or tutorials before, a broken base is simply a low. Okay, that low is then swept, then we break above the high that sweeps the low. Once we retest, this is the entry here, and obviously there is more that goes into actually executing and managing the position, but this is essentially the framework for my entire strategy. This is a broken base. So we had a broken base form here. You have the low, the high that swept the low, we break above. Then we saw the exact same pattern right back into the first broken base here, manipulating below this low. Then we see the break in structure, pretty much confirming that we are now entering into an uptrend again. Okay, that we have finished the retracement, we've retraced back to bullish levels, formed bullish structure again. Okay, now we are moving back to the upside. Now there is one thing that I'm watching here on ETH, and it's a similar setup on Bitcoin as well. So if we do see, we've swept this high here, so if we do start to break down from this level and form multiple lower time frame confirmations to the downside, there are a few levels that I'll be looking to get long again. Okay, now if we do start to form this, it may mean that alts start to pull back as well, so you really need to be aware of that and make sure you're not over leveraged. Okay, so there are a few bullish levels I'm looking at on the way down here. By bullish levels, I'm just meaning broken bases that still need to be tested. So we have the sweep below this key swing, obviously. Now that we have manipulated below this level and formed bullish broken bases after manipulating below this low, I do not think we will reach down into this lower bullish level. However, anything's possible, but I do not think that's going to happen. So we have these bullish broken bases after sweeping that key swing. Onto it. We swept the low, we break above the high that sweeps the low, and then we retest the candle, mitigating the orders. Okay, and then we shoot up here, and then we see a similar setup. We sweep a key low, and then we break above the obvious high that sweeps the low. Now this is a level that we haven't tested, so if we do start to break down here and start to form lower time frame broken bases, then we can look to long at this level. I'm not looking to short anything. Okay, the trend is up. I believe that we have finished the retracement that we've been seeing over the last few weeks. This was just consolidation, and it looks like reaccumulation to me. Okay, so I'm not looking to short anything. I'm just going to be waiting for us to reach into bullish levels. Okay, so we have that there, and then we also have this bullish broken base here as well. So here's the low, here's the high that swept the low. If we can get a retest and see the exact same pattern form here on the lower time frames, then we can look to get long. However, I would much rather us reach into this lower level. Okay, now that's ETH. I think we are heading up. My targets will be the previous high up here, okay, around $2,040. If we reach into there and then start to reverse, then obviously we can look to take some profit. But yep, that's ETH. Now, taking a look at a few trades that I took last week using the easy and easy out strategy. Now, these were all posted on Twitter before they played out, and I showed my FTX entries and everything like that. So this is in hindsight. So if we come back over to here, just doing the exact same thing that I just explained to you for ETH. So we look for the manipulation being a sweep below a key swing, which we got right here. So right here. Okay, and then you look for the most obvious high that swept the level. On the higher time frames, it would be this high here. So we see an obvious break in structure and rally away. Then once we return to this high, we look for the exact same pattern again, which is what we saw right here. So we have a key swing low along with these equal lows right here. You look for the most obvious swing that swept the level, which is right here. We break above, and then you set the orders, okay, at the level that swept the low, and look at the reaction that we get. Okay, it's not random. There you go. Now the exact same thing with Tomo. All right, we had a key swing low that was swept right here, and then we break above the obvious swing that swept the low. right here. Now, once we return, it doesn't mean that you set limits. What you want to do is wait for reaccumulation or multiple confirmations again at this level, which is exactly what we saw right here. We have a low, you look at the high that swept the low, we break above, okay? And then we form multiple equal lows here. Now, when you see multiple equal lows, what do you think is residing below those lows? Liquidity, okay? Liquidity that will be used to fill larger long orders, and that's exactly what we see here. Now, you're not looking to predict the manipulation. What you're doing is waiting for the pattern to confirm that it is in fact manipulation. So we have the key swing that swept the low. We break above that. We also break up above some key resistance here, okay? And then we return, and that was my entry. Now just targeting key swing highs. We may see another re-entry here once we retrace back down into the $2 level, but we'll have to wait and see. Now Wi-Fi and perp, or Wi-Fi perp, Tomo perps, okay? What else did I take? I took a loss here on FTT last week. Okay, so we had a pretty similar kind of setup here. Here's the obvious high that swept below this low and this low right here. Now, we formed the exact same pattern. We swept the low. We broke above the obvious high that swept the low right here. So my entry was down at this level and I took a loss. All of these, the Wi-Fi, Tomo, and FTT, were all called in the same Twitter thread, so I'm sure you can go and find that. It was pretty recent. Now what I'm looking at for the rest of this week, just banned here. So again, the exact same pattern. We have equal lows right here. We look for the high that swept the equal lows. Essentially, once we break above, that's confirming the manipulation. Now, you're not just looking to then enter right at this level. The risk to reward ratio isn't too favorable, especially because we're only targeting equal highs. Okay, so we formed the broken base, we came back, we returned to it again, equal lows. What do you think is sitting below there? Liquidity. The liquidity is then used to fill larger buy orders. You're not trying to predict that. However, we're waiting for a break above, which is what we saw right here, which we then look for the exact same pattern again. So we have a low. The liquidity below the low is then used. We then break above, and then this is our entry right here, which I called on Twitter also. So the exact same move again on Sushi, the exact same pattern. It's literally the exact same thing. I am just repeating myself, but as you guys can see, it's literally the exact same thing over and over and over again. The same pattern on all time frames, just repeating inside of itself. So again, we have a low here, break above, return. Low here, break above, return. There's my entry. Targeting equal highs, or in a bullish market, you're targeting equal highs. In a bearish market, you're targeting equal lows. Bullish market, you can target key swing highs. Bearish market, key swing lows. It's not rocket science, really. I may still get stopped out on these positions, but the point that I'm trying to make here is that this is an easily repeatable process that you can take, and it does work. So Sushi, Band, and Dot will be the last one that I'm taking here. So equal lows, we sweep above. Okay, equal lows, we sweep, equal lows, we sweep below, then break above. Equal lows, sweep below, break above. Okay, and then we're looking for the exact same pattern, which we got here on the lower time frames this morning, right before Asia. Here, see, we returned to the high, which we then had a low just here, and then we broke above. Now, you don't just want to be entering these at any time. You want to enter around session open, so that's really important. That's the most volatile time of day, and that's when you'll see the most probable entries play out. So no worries. So just Dot, Sushi, and Band. Looking at ETH also. I think this is going to just continue running up. I think we're going to see some amazing opportunities over the next few weeks. No worries, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm sure there is a lot that you can pick apart there and learn. Just go through and have a look at the charts yourself, and you'll see that it works. If you go onto my Twitter, you'll see that there's a link to buy the strategy. If this is something that you're interested in, go ahead and do that. So it's not a course. It is literally just my step-by-step process, exactly how I enter and exactly how I exit. No wishy-washy content or anything like that. No worries. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.